So guys, you are in for a treat because instead of me showing off, we're going to be going over the top dropshipping terms that you need to know for 2024. We'll be talking about ROAS, suppliers, creatives, all the little nitty-gritty things you need to know about running a dropshipping store. Seriously, I know this is a bit of a nerdy and technical video, but I'm gonna try and make it as punctual as possible and as quick and painless as possible so you can get this information in your head. And anyone that does dropshipping knows these terms, and anyone that wants to do dropshipping or e-commerce should learn these terms. First on the list is supplier, and your supplier is basically anyone who you're getting your products from. Now, when you're dropshipping, most of the suppliers you're using are coming from China, but that doesn't have to always be the case. A supplier is basically the person that's supplying you the products that you're selling. They are the ones that are going to be fulfilling on the orders when you sell them. And it's super important to pick the right suppliers, because if you pick the wrong ones, which I've done in the past and had to suffer the consequences of, you can have serious issues, whether it's products not getting shipped at all or just bad product quality, which is a real thing. And when you're dealing with suppliers, you want to make sure they're trustworthy and credible people. Ideally, your supplier would be referred to you by someone that's already using them or used them before. You know, in one of my first stores, I started working with a supplier, and one time I accidentally logged into his backend system where he gets the orders from Shopify and fulfills them, and I accidentally logged in as though I was a supplier, and I saw that he had the option to just duplicate my store from me. Like, why do you need that option? And as soon as I saw that, I cut ties with him immediately. But there's a lot of sketch things that can happen if you're not using the right suppliers. The second term is niche. Now, niche is what category you're selling in. For example, there's a fitness niche, there's a beauty niche, there's a clothing niche. There's all sorts of different types of niches, and really it's just another fancy word for category. So the same way you walk into Walmart and you have hundreds of thousands of products you can pick from, and they categorize them into different aisles, like, oh, the bikes are over here, the laptops are over here, the clothes are over here. A niche is basically just in that aisle. And this is super important because it gives you an idea of what types of products to sell and also where to advertise. For example, if you're in the fitness niche selling fitness products, you want to make sure that your product would be in the fitness aisle. And the same goes for advertising. You want to make sure you're advertising on the right platform depending on what product you have. So you want to see me advertising something that's made for, let's say, 18-year-old guys on Pinterest, because they're not on Pinterest. And that brings me to my third term, which is advertising. Now, advertising is pretty much just anything you do to get your message out there and make people know about your product. And in our case, we're mainly using Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok ads. And really what I want you to think about advertising as is, imagine you have a salesperson that can be anywhere in the world, wherever you pick, and that salesperson has 30 seconds, 60 seconds to try and convince someone to go on your website. That's typically what advertisements when dropshipping and doing e-commerce are. And the better your ads are, the more profit you'll make. And what a lot of people don't realize is all of these advertising platforms perform on an auction basis. So when you're advertising on Facebook, you're competing against other advertisers for the same eyeballs. And that's why it's super important to have good quality ads following good proven frameworks to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck when you're paying for ads. Now, there's different levels of advertising you can do. And this is where the term funnel comes into play, where you have a top of funnel, and that's just people that are aware of your product and that it exists. You have your middle of funnel, and those are people that have seen it before and they're kind of interested, but they're not really sold on it yet. And then you have your bottom of funnel, where someone has the problem, someone wants to buy the product, they just need that little extra push to get them over the ledge. And the bottom of funnel is really where our review ads and testimonials come in. Fourthly, repeat customers. And this term is super important to know. And I understand that it sounds really basic when you hear it. Repeat customer, oh, that's just someone that buys again. But that is what it is. But we look at that as a percentage rate because that's a big indicator of how well a store is doing long term. Because if you're trying to sell products that people buy one time and then never buy from you again, well, what good is that? That's not a good business. Whenever you're dropshipping or running an e-commerce brand, you want repeat purchases where you pay the advertising cost to acquire a customer one time, and then you have their email, you have their phone number, and now you can send them deals and they'll keep buying from you again and again. And that's really where where the true life-changing wealth of e-commerce comes into play. It's when people buy again after buying one time. And really, you can see how healthy or how good a store is doing just by looking at the return customer rate. If it's 1%, that's completely trash. If it's 10%, 15%, 20%, that means they're doing a really good job and their customers are having a good experience. Number 5, Shopify. Shopify is pretty much a plug and play website builder where you just fill in a couple little nuances with your product name, your product pictures, and the price you want to sell your product at, and you're pretty much good to go. Now, the reason we use Shopify is because of their one-page checkout. It is the highest converting checkout in the industry right now, and it's just a clean and flawless minimal design. When you're making your first store on Shopify, it might take you 2-3 days to do it, but after you do it once, after you get a little proficient in it, it could take you as low as hours and for some people minutes. That is how simple and easy the platform is to use. 6, ROAS. ROAS is return on ad spend. And what this means is every time you spend $1 on advertising, how many dollars are you getting back? So if you spend $1 on Facebook ads and you generate $5 in revenue, your ROAS would be 5. And if you spend $1 and get $10 back, your ROAS would be 10. Now, an important thing to mention is ROAS is not profit because it comes from revenue. What you want to calculate as well as ROAS is break-even ROAS. This is the amount of money you have to get back from your ads in order to break even before you start making a profit. So I'll give you a quick example so you know what I mean. And there's a big difference between doing $100,000 in revenue and $100,000 in profit, because depending on your profit margins, 20%, 30%, 40%, it can vary drastically. And I'll give you a quick example so you know exactly what I mean. Let's say you're selling a product for $50 and it costs you $10 from your supplier. And every $10 in ads you spend, you get 1 sale. So your return on ad spend would be 5 and your profit margin would be around 60%. Now your break-even ROAS would be 1.25 because you can spend up to $40 to acquire a customer before you can turn your ads off. So if you spend $40 on ads and then $10 on the product cost, you're breaking even. And this is an important metric to know because it lets us monitor our ad campaigns really carefully and turn off any ads that aren't profitable. And lastly, we have creatives. Creatives are pretty much just the videos or the pictures of our products that we're using on social platforms to get our message and our product out there. There's all different types of creatives and it's really up to your imagination. There's videos and images, but within videos, there's so many different sections. You can do a before and after, you can do a customer testimonial, you can just do a video walkthrough of the product. You can make a video about how the product is made, what it looks like, how it looks like outside, the product being used by someone. There's an infinite amount of video ideas you can make with products. And the same goes for images. You can do a before and after image. You could just do like a cool aesthetic image. You can also just do a plain simple white image where you have nothing in the background and it's just the product. And creatives is a super important term to know because that's really what you're going to be limited by when it comes to advertising and scaling up your campaigns. The more you scale, the more creatives you're going to need, the more advertisements you're going to need. And there's a bunch of different ways to get creatives, but I highly recommend learning the fundamental basics yourself so you can make the best ones for your product. Now, apart from that, down below, there will be a pinned comment where I link a YouTube video I made. And this is going to be a guide for anyone that wants to start or scale their dropshipping store and very quickly ramp it up to over $10,000 a month. Even if you have no prior experience in dropshipping or e-commerce or Shopify or any of the terms I talked about here, you can watch that video. It's not super long. I don't bore your ear off. And if anything, you could just watch it on 2x speed. So go ahead, check out that video down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.